So we start out as little infants, little children in this world. One of the ideas or possible theories that comes into our head at some point in our childhood is this idea that we're the center of the universe and everything around us, all the people, all the things happening are all our dream, our specific, particular dream. This is what's described as we get older. We begin to see this as solipsism, as because we learn empathy. You know, even a small child playing with his friend notices that when he hits his friend too hard or they wrestle too hard, the friend gets hurt and doesn't feel good, right? And cries maybe. And we develop empathy and we develop the understanding of the idea of the objective world, that other people outside of our own personal experience have their own very specific feelings and agendas and thoughts and ideas. And the more you look at books and the more you meet other people, the more this reality comes into focus. I've heard a lot of these concepts floating around out there that we're living in a holographic universe, or that somehow this is all some sort of illusion. And I like to toy with these ideas. But today, I wanted to follow up on my last talk that was called A Hole in the Universe. And the hole in the universe was describing our imagination, this capability we have that sometimes goes a little bit outside of the physical great all into the mental imagination aspect of everything. What I mean by that is, if you use the word God, so many people have been through religions or have been affected or indoctrinated by cultural religions that want to paint God as this being up in the clouds somewhere who's smiting us or sending thunderbolts down to us or changing us in a very specific way individually, where I tend to think of my version of what makes sense to me, God would be the great all, the great everything. Some people say the universe, but even that seems like it doesn't quite cover the all, the totality of the great intelligence, the creation, the creator, where that we are the creation of. And, I think it's a tricky topic because, like in the hole in the universe, there's this separation. And I've seen a cool video by Alan Watts, and I've seen this on some other YouTube channels recently about the illusion of separation or the illusion of separateness. And basically that means that we are one, we are part of the great all. But it's weird that we have this separate individual life where we have this ability to experience things in a linear way. And it's sort of complicated saying that something's true and not true at the same time. It's true that we are somewhat separate from the great all of everything, but we're not separate too. I found a way, an allegory, to help myself understand this concept and this seemingly opposing two ideas that are actually one thing. And that is the idea of a tree, okay? If we imagine, you see how much I love the tree of life here behind you, you see my tree of life. And if we come up the wall a little bit, I got my tree of life, favorite little wooden thing there. And the tree of life represents to me the fact that we're all interconnected and that we're all part of this same reality, and that it's really important aspect of our reality, because there's a lot of complications that we could eliminate if solipsism was real. If it was all just my dream or all my hallucination, then that would change a lot, right? But it's not. We affect other people and other people affect us. And then that goes down to plants and animals and minerals. We all, our actions affect those realms as well. So how can we be part of something and yet separate from it, seemingly? Well, think about a leaf on a tree. If the tree, the great tree, is the great all, everything, the creator in this allegory, in this metaphor, we would be, you and I, or just me, let's say for the sake of me, I would just be one little leaf on that tree. And just like I'm born into this world, out of another human being, out of the flesh of another human being comes my flesh, which grows and expands. In the same way, a leaf sprouts from the branch of a tree. You know, there's the trunk, and then the branch, and then the smaller branch, and here it is. The little leaf sprouts from the branch. Well, every leaf only stays on the tree for so long. Eventually, it falls off, and it makes its way to the ground. And would you say that a leaf is not a part of a tree when it's separated from a tree? I mean, even a little kid, if you brought to them a leaf and said, "Do you know what this is?" Smallest child might say, "That's a leaf." And what is a leaf a part of? Well, a leaf is a part of a tree, right? So we know it's a part of a tree even when it's separated from the tree. And that's kind of like our life, like I'm saying. Our life is like the period of time when the leaf breaks free from the tree and it falls down to the ground. That's like that period of time from birth to death. And death would represent, in this metaphor, the point at which the leaf becomes part of the ground, and it gets churned up with the worms and all the other activity of the earth that turns the leaf into nutrients for the other trees. And eventually, in different ways, its particles and molecules are eventually part of another tree and another leaf. But there's this this changing process, and life is always changing. So this metaphor or allegory, I hope it helps you, like it's helped me, to understand the illusion of separateness. Like the leaf, we're on this journey through the air, experiencing this linear moment by moment dimension. But the tree itself, is experiencing time in a different way than we are as a leaf. Another way to understand this is if you think about what we experience with dreams. When you're in a dream, you can experience all kinds of feelings and places that you'll never be in real life. And sometimes when we wake up, it's hard to grasp them. They seem so far away, almost like it was someone else dreaming it. And sometimes in dreams, we're almost like in someone else's experience, it seems like. Or like reading a book, right? So we have this opportunity to see another parallel, like a correspondence of reality, to help us understand this illusion of separateness that makes us feel like we're different from the Creator, or we're apart from the creation of the all, the great tree. We're not. We're just like a leaf. And this experience in life is the space that we've been given by the great all to kind of play around with reality, to change the direction we fall, so to speak. I've thought of it like a surfer. Sorry to bring in another allegory, but hey, if the first one didn't work for you, how about this one? A surfer on a wave. The surfer does not create the wave. The surfer doesn't really change much at all about the wave, a little bit by his surfboard creating those little riff in the surface of the wave. But the surfer has a lot of options in how he shifts his body and balance and weight, and he can find himself in a different place on the wave, moving at a different speed and moving with a different style than any other surfer has ever done. So yeah, it's exciting. It's a wonderful adventure that we have this ability to be alive. And I don't want folks to take it for granted. I want to inspire in you an understanding of the wonder and the amazement of your ability to make choices and to ride this wave, to float through the sky before you hit the ground. Yes, you're going to die. It's part of this reality. There's going to be change. But on the way, you have some pretty incredible opportunity to be someone that affects reality, that not only changes yourself, but might even affect change on other people or other parts of the world or the plant world or the animal world. And it's important because everything we do does change and affect what is going to be experienced in the future. So therefore, it's super important that we respect and understand and go forward in our life, making the most of our decisions and our choices, and really appreciating the grand miracle of the moment and the ability to change directions, like the surfer on the wave or the leaf as it floats in one direction or another in its own specific and personal path. Well, I hope that gives you something to think about, something to chew on, and something to tinker with in your little hole in the universe. Thanks for listening. High five.